good to be back. Coming off a tough loss in Ole Miss, man. This football team definitely understands where we sit today. Had an opportunity to take our units and watch the game together. Offense watched it together, defense watched it together, special teams watched it together, and I think what it provided was a little more clarity into where we're at, okay, man, and what's happening. I think a lot of times when you watch it individually, you can isolate the issues and feel like those issues are things in our room that we need to fix. But football is a team game, and I think that's what you do, man. You try to let guys understand how the individual performance affects the individual accomplishment, and that's exactly what it is. And I think right now, man, this team needed to see that, and it allowed us to put it to bed. Move forward and now, try to grasp the opportunity that is UNLV. We play UNLV this week, and they're 1-14. We're 1-14. And it's good to be back in Nashville. It's good to be home. And I think these guys are gonna respond the way that I need them to respond, the way Commodores need to respond. And I truly believe that today's practice moved us in the right direction. Sometimes for you guys, I truly believe, man, that you believe that that's coach speak, man, but you gotta know your team, you gotta know who they are, you gotta know, what the buttons, are that you need to be able to push in order to make sure, man, that guys can sort of delete the data and put themselves in a position, man, and to attract new data. And one of the things that I thought was really apropos, I talked to this group about being greedy. You gotta be selfish, like in this thing. If you go to practice and you're not greedy, okay, then you wind up eating a small meal. Greedy players eat big meals. Okay, man, they take big chunks, out of practice, man. They work real hard to make sure that they can, fully establish their games and work on all facets of the game so that they get better. And when they get better, the team gets better. And that's where we stand today. I thought the practice was greedy. I thought guys got hungry. I thought they got fed. And now what we got to do is stack days on top of days. So with that, I'll turn it over.
Derek, how much of some of the issues is youth and not being able to get consistent performances because these guys have not played together much?
That's part of it. I mean, it's a heavy part of the equation, but nobody really cares. You can say young, you can say youth, you can say injuries, you can say all those things. But when you play in a conference where nobody forgives you for that, nobody really cares about that. But for us, it does matter. It matters all the way around. And again, putting those guys in the same room, to really show those guys, what it looks like. It's not just the individual, performance, but it really how it affects the outcome of one play. And then, okay, when you have maybe 7 or 8 plays that look like that, or, the guy's not necessarily populating to the football, and or, how we tackle, and or, how we may not necessarily be able to get through the read progression in order to make it happen. I mean, those things become cumulative in ball games, and when they become cumulative, the effect is cumulative, man. But there were some incremental wins in this ball game too. Okay, man, you got to look at that too, man, because young people don't know how to do, anything. If all you talk about is the negative, then that's all they take. Okay, man, a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down, and the medicine was a loss. So we got to get back to work, and that's what we're doing.
Offensively, is there a real consideration of making a change at quarterback or trying both quarterbacks just for the sake of change? I'm evaluating everything right now. And here's what I'll tell you. I mean, I've asked Riley, to be better. I've asked, our offense to be better. I've asked our defense to be better. I'm encouraging our special teams to stay on the path that they're on. Okay? I've asked our coaches to be better. Okay? I'm demanding of myself to be better. Nowadays everybody wants to blame, but the blame is with us. Okay? It's our team. And what I would ask is that, Commodore Nation and everybody around us, man, stick with us. Okay, man, we got a lot of football left to play. We got UNLV this week, and these guys are about getting it right. That's what we'll do. We'll get back to the middle and we'll get it right.
You said at half that you'd wanted to open up the offense a little bit more. How did you feel about the second half and how that went? Anything changing there going forward?
I saw some things in that ball game, man, that we truly need to utilize. And I don't want to speak specifically to it because, it's game plan specific. But I think there's opportunities for us to get after some things, to truly get after some things. For us, and
at times it just seems to be, stagnant. Okay, when I believe that this thing can truly get moving faster, maybe a little quicker in terms of our pace and some of the things that we can do, but those are the things that we're addressing right now. So we're actually trying to get guys more proficient, in what we do, making sure, man, that the offense and the defense fits the personnel that we have, and that these guys can function in it without anybody having to lag behind or be a hindrance to it, is exactly where our focus is. So that's what we're doing. Working out the bugs, moving in the right direction.
For Riley to be more effective, does he need to play better in what you guys do, or do you guys need to help him in terms of the play calls, tempo, change things for him?
It's both. I mean, I think we started this season with the idea that, okay, but you won the job. We work to build it around you, but there comes a time when you got to rise to the level of the guys that are around you. These guys have been in the program; they understand where it's at, and that's what you got to do. I mean, you got to raise his level of play and expectation. But I think, man, it's also been about, the issues in and around him too. Okay, when we talk about protection, we talk about the guys being in and out of the lineup on the offensive line and what that's looked like. And granted, it's an 11-man game. So, whether it's protection or whether it's like needing to make sure that we and attack the middle of the field, down the field, all those things. He's got the ball in his hand, okay, almost all the time. And so with that being the case, when he's back there, he's got to make sure, man, that he makes it count for us. That's what a quarterback in this system has to do. Okay, but it can't just be dink and dunk outside, man. We got to be able to attack. Some of that has to do with the scheme, but some of that has to do with the read. So as we raise his level of play, everything gets better.
I know you take a lot of pride in the defense. You have had a lot of success on that side of the ball at your different stops.
Yeah.
When you look at where it has gone wrong this year, the last few years, do you see personnel issues? Do you see scheme issues? Do you see any common themes in there that you can identify and fix?
Yeah, I think it's all fixable. I think it's all right. The identification piece is really not that hard. Okay, I mean, it comes back to doing your job. Okay, but in this too, okay, like there's a maturity factor, man, that has to happen. When you look at our inside linebacker play, we haven't had the same inside linebackers line up, okay, all season. Okay, I mean, that's consistency of play. Okay, man, you got to be consistent about lining up, consistent about being able to make the calls, and then be able to take the good with the bad that you learn from game to game. When you don't get that game-to-game consistency, okay, and right now, man, I've got two redshirt freshmen, in Brendan Harris and DJ right now, Deshaun Jerkins, almost leading our team in tackles. It's not what you want, okay, man. We've got productive players around, up front, and at the outside linebacker position, but everybody's got to do their job. Okay, so for us, schematically, they've been in the right places. They've been able to do some things, but it just hasn't been consistent enough for us to call it good football. So, like with that, we're going to keep growing them up. We're going to keep playing what we have. Okay, man, but these guys know, man, there is no turning back. These guys haven't turned away from it, man. They run to the light. And, man, as long as we keep doing that, man, we're going to continue to get better. It's got to get cleaned up fast, but we got 7 ball games left to play. And one being UNLV this week, and that's the only one we can get. So, man, we got to play our best game this week, and then we'll worry about the rest. But, man, this isn't game number 12. Okay, man, we're sitting, with 6 games left, 7 games left in this season. Let's go.
Elijah was asked Saturday night after the game about a sense of panic in the locker room. He said he felt like there maybe was a little. Is that something you're trying to guard against, or is that something that you can use maybe as a little bit of motivation going forward?
Well, I mean, if he says panic, that may be his feeling. The idea at the end of the day, when I talk to the leadership council in this group, is that there's got to be a sense of urgency. Panic, okay, man, is about not being prepared to respond. I mean, like right now, these guys are prepared to respond. So, I mean, we just got to be urgent about the work in front of us. I thought Tom Brady said it best. Man, the best teammate to play with, and he said it the other night, the best teammates that he's always loved are the ones he never had to waste any energy worrying about because they always did their job. That's where we're at right now. Okay, man, guys got to do their jobs. I mean, man, I don't need, Kalijah or any of our guys worried about wasting energy on somebody else doing their job. Okay, when you can focus and get greedy about doing your job and gaining what there is to be gained, you become a pretty good player. And when you become a pretty good player, your team becomes a pretty good team. That's how teams get better. So that's what we got to do.
Who are the players on your leadership council, and what are their roles with that?
Man, I mean, there's 16 guys, you know, Kalijah, Keyshawn, Caleb Burke. You know, it's about guiding these guys as influencers. Because everybody wants to talk about leaders, but this world is full of influencers. These guys have influence. Leadership carries accountability and responsibility with it. Okay, that's how I define a leader. And so with that being the case, just teaching these guys how to influence the young men around them. Okay, taking on the responsibility of showing them how to work. Okay, man, how to be a young man, how to be a good football player, how to be a great teammate, how to be a Vanderbilt man. And so that's what we talk about. And I think those things are really, you know, what can determine, you know, overall success, you know, like in society. Okay, like as we know it today. So, you know, with that, I mean, I'm not gonna name every guy in the group, man, but I've given you enough, you know, man, to sort of, you know, go on. So hopefully that's good enough for you.
What's scouting report on UNLV? What do they do well?
You know what? They're a team right now, man, that's looking to find it as well. You know, man, they're trying to find it on offense, defense, you know, as well as special teams. Man, they've got good offensive talent. Defensively, man, they're a veteran group because they've been built, you know, whether it's to the junior college ranks, you know, man, and or, you know, a couple bounce backs, man, they've got some veteran guys. So, you know, like for them schematically, you know, when they run, they hit, man, they got good speed on defense, and, you know, man, they're going to get after the quarterback. You're going to see, you know, a fair amount of zero pressure, you know, man, at times, okay, man, you don't know what it's going to come, you just know it's coming. And, you know, from a structure standpoint, it's going to be odd. You know, there's some 3-3-5, some 3-4. Okay, then they'll move it around. But, you know, they're going to try to run the football with Coach, you know, Tim Skipper a little bit, but they're also going to take their shots. So we got to stand up, play well in all three phases, and make sure, man, we make it our type of ball game. We got to score early. We got to try to score often. And we got to, you know, create turnovers on defense. We got to tackle, and then we got to be good in situational football.
You talked about Riley. What has Deuce done well when you put him in there? How does he influence guys on the field?
Yeah, man. I think Deuce has been, you know, been consistent and solid. You know, man, I think, you know, he's got a different, you know, man, type of energy about, you know, man, how he goes about his business. But, you know, man, right now, when I look at, you know, man, the numbers and the production, it is what it is. You know, it's solid. It's not great, okay, I mean, it's not going to take us where we need to go right now. But, you know, man, he's shown that he deserves an opportunity to look at the field. You know, like, I'll say that much. And with that being said, you know, when I told Riley, don't look over your shoulder. Don't worry about looking over your shoulder, man. Keep your eyes firmly planted forward, man, so you can play your best ball. But Deuce is coming.
In the game, what's the feel in the game when you decide to kind of make that switch just to spark whatever? Like, what is it for you instinctually that you decide that's what has to happen?
It's been where we've been, like in those games. You know, I mean, obviously, man, it's been towards the end of the third quarter, you know, like in most of those games and maybe leading into the fourth. You know, like when I truly believe that we needed to maybe step back and see something different. You know, let Riley see, you know, a series, or let Deuce continue to play. You know, that's sort of what I've seen, but that's what was earned, you know, man, by Riley coming into the season, and that's where Deuce was. He knew he was the number two, but here's the thing: you got to prepare like a number one. So when the opportunity comes, I've seen plenty of guys come off the bench and get it hot. And that's what I expect to see when I see a guy, you know, come in. I don't care where you are in the game. Okay, I care what you do with the reps you get, and that's what's going to show me exactly where I need to go.
Sometimes when teams struggle, coaching staffs will make changes, bring a guy from the booth to the field, from the field to the booth, changing play callers, things like that. Anything in the works similar to any of those things?
It's all being looked at. You know, I don't take anything off the table. Believe me. I mean, everything that you thought of, man, I've been there twice over. Okay, I've been doing this long enough where, I mean, man, I think I know and understand and exactly, you know, how to evaluate it. But, you know, to most people, I think it's most people believe that it may just be about like players and plays. It's not just about players and plays. You try to evaluate it all, man, and make sure that you touch every part, you know, like of what you're doing, and check it again and then check it again to make sure, man, that you're getting it right. Not about being right, it's about getting it right.
One last question. Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Thanks,